everybody, it's Christine. It is time for a scrapbook process video for Off the Board with Pineapple Papers. And that's where we take a pen from our Pinterest boards and we make a layout inspired by it. So here's the pen I found. I really like this a lot. That's an Instagram post, I guess, by Joe Scrapbenzo. And what I really like is these strips where she's torn it and kind of gone, along. She's got a little mixed media behind there. Obviously, you can see a few little embellishment clusters going around. It's a blue-green palette. I don't know if I'm going to do that or not. She's got one photo. I have one photo. Mine's vertical, though. I thought the collection... This is my photo. This is my daughter and my mom. This was when my daughter was heading off to college. We were driving her up there for college. So I thought a collection... I thought the Flower Emporium would be really pretty with this. So I'm going to go through here and find my papers I want to use. I need to see if I have some scraps before I tear into a whole page here, because obviously those are just strips. But I don't know that I do. Actually, now that I say that, I don't think I have anything long enough. So, oh, maybe this one. Maybe this one. I could probably use this one, but that's it. So I'll find some papers to use. There's a polka dot, different little things. So I'll get into that, figure that out, pick those. And then, of course, it has a white cardstock. So I'll use a white cardstock and then some mixed media. So I have to get into that as well. Once I pick the papers, I'll pick the colors. And then, of course, it's Flower Emporium, so there's a ton of florals. I'm so sorry, you guys. I'm fighting a cold. So, but I thought these colors would go really good, too. So let me pick my papers and my inks, and I'll be back on in a minute.
Okay, you guys, I'm going to try to get through this voiceover without having a coughing fit. I have caught myself a cold. Not sure what happened there. We started at a new gym, so I don't know if I picked up a germ off a handle or something. I don't know. Because I work from home, so I'm not really exposed to people, generally speaking. But whatever. What I decided to do, so the original pen, her color palette was like blue and green. And I decided on this one to do like green to kind of a beigey brown, because the photo itself, my mom has on she has a t-shirt on. It's for my daughter's college. It has their color, which was green, and I don't know if it's green and black, I think, or something was their colors, or green and gold. One or the other. It was like green, but there's green. So I like the green. My daughter's shirt, and also the photo has a little bit of a tint to it. I don't know how that happened. I downloaded this off of Facebook. I actually took the photo, so I probably have it on my phone, but it popped up as a memory, and I thought, oh, I need to scrapbook that. So what I'm going to do, and I cut some of this out, you guys, because I left it in here originally, and I was doing the voiceover, and I started over because I was like, this is not terribly interesting to sit here and watch me do the same thing over and over. So basically, the very first one, I'm going to glue down the top and then tear it. I don't know what made me do that, because the rest of them I didn't glue them down. I just tore them and then glued them down. But the first one I'm going to go ahead and glue down and then tear. The polka dot's the one I start with. I'm just trying to see how far apart these need to go. I'm trying to use my grid there to put them, I think it's a 1/4 inch apart. And it stays fairly consistent. I mean, it's not hard to, well, I mean, they may not be perfectly spaced, but they're good enough. So I use this. It takes me just a second, too, y'all. I was trying to get that straight. So then I'm going to tear this. I do make sure the white core is showing. I noticed on the pen, the white core was showing. And I enjoy that. So I actually really like the white core. I rarely tear a paper where you don't see the white core, because I'm like, otherwise, why am I tearing it? At least that's my particular perspective. So I'm going to glue this down. And then I think it was a little crooked, so I had to fix it. And then I'm going to cut away, because I do basically the exact same process. I do create the little stair step of the gaps. So if you look at the pen, which I'm going to try to make sure I put that at the beginning in the corner. I rarely do that, just because I don't know why. I don't spend a ton of time editing these videos per se, if you want to know the truth of the matter, because it's for fun, and you guys are kind enough. You're not usually going, Christine, this doesn't look professional. I shouldn't even be saying stuff like that, you guys. I'm just not feeling good. I think I'm just going to call it cold brain or whatever. Anyway, I've got all these glued down, and I thought to myself, okay, instead of inks, I'm going to grab these couple of green rub-ons here and just kind of lay them in different little spots. So I'm going to take my popsicle stick, and I'll kind of scrub, one little piece, and then pick it up, move it around, and do another little piece. And you'll see me do that in just a second. And these are great rub-ons. I really enjoy the 49 Market rub-ons, if I'm honest. So here's what I mean, though. See, I'll do like a little piece, and I'll just pick it up and then move it around. You don't have to use the whole rub-on. You can kind of move it around if you want. I mean, this one here, I probably went too high up underneath there. It was kind of stupid because I wasted some of it. But I'm just going to kind of move it around almost as if it were sprinkled some kind of way. You know what I mean? I will add one more little rub-on. I think I cut it out already. It looks like text, and I just add that for some texture or whatever. But I enjoyed this because, like I said, I didn't have to make a big mess. Because I just didn't feel like cleaning up, y'all. I have already started having my cold when I was making this layout, so I'm like, I needed to get this done. Although, I mean, I enjoy it. Like, scrapping is definitely my therapy. By the same token, I'm like, I don't want to clean up. You know, it's like I just want to glue stuff down and cut pretty papers. I think this is the text one, and I'll put that there. And I think this looks really pretty. The other thing with the 49 Market is you can layer the rub-ons. So if you've never tried rub-ons, these are definitely a good product to try for just trying rub-ons. Okay, so I've got all that stuff down, and now it's time for kind of working on the photo and the ephemeras and all that. And I think I cut away because I'm going to have to go digging, because y'all have all these things. I need to really organize myself a little better, because I do have like things in baggies and things like that, but it's kind of a hot mess in my little bin. So here's where I've set all these florals down. They're not all glued down. I think I've glued a few of them down. And again, it's very similar to the pin. I've just kind of organized the flowers around the photo. And she had butterflies as well. So luckily there are some butterflies in this collection. So I pulled a few of those out. I have forgotten one at the top, though. You'll see me add one. I don't know if I do it on camera, if you're just going to see it in the slowdown. I'll add one at the very top. I don't have it laying there right yet. Here's why I do want to put some foam under a few pieces, because I'm a foam person, y'all. I do like the dimension. So it's going to come up underneath this big one. And then there's a few, I think there's one other one I add some foam. And then on the rose, there's like a little yellow rose. I put a little foam underneath the top of it. And this, I think, turned out really pretty. It's not exactly like a feminine photo. You can see they're standing there like in T-shirts and all that kind of stuff. But I think the whole look and feel gives you the sense of, you know, girls and ladies and stuff. And I kind of like it. I think I'm just doing a few. I used some fun foam on these ones. They're a little bit bigger flowers, so they could take a little fun foam versus just a square dot. So I'm going to glue that down. I will get into the titles, the puffy titles, and I decide she had kind of a little phrase as the title. I don't know if there's anything like that in this collection, to be frank with you. I really wanted to use a puffy title, so I'm going to get into that in just a second. And I just pull out photograph. It's not, I'm not sure that that's really the most descriptive title, but I thought it was pretty. I like the way the font, it's like 2 lines, and I think it's really pretty. You'll see it in just a second when I pull it out. I think I'm just still kind of messing around with all my pieces here. I did use Nuvo glue to glue down the, those are little vellum butterflies, and I used some Nuvo glue to glue those down. It works pretty well. I think this is me looking for a title. I'm like, okay, what do I want to do here? I don't know. I've forgotten what I was doing at this point. I may be digging in my bin over there. Oh, I noticed on the pen I had forgotten it, or didn't actually notice it. In the lower left, she had like a little floral element. So I went back in and found another little floral element and a couple of leaves, and I'm going to stick that in the lower left. I don't know how I missed that, to be honest with you. And I was looking at the pen again. I was like, oh, shoot, there's a little flower down there, so I need to add that. So I add that, and then I think I get into the title. This didn't really take a long time other than me fassing around with these embellishments. There I go with the Nuvo glue. And then I'll tell you the picture real quickly so you can see it's my mom and my daughter. Yes, my daughter is that tall, you guys. My mom is only like 5'2", so my daughter stands next to her and she's like 9 inches taller. So that's kind of what happened there. And this was actually the day we had breakfast. We were taking my daughter up to college for her freshman year, and we'd all had breakfast, and we were about to pile in the car and take her to college. So my mom was so cute. She's so supportive. She wears all the little, when my daughter used to play soccer, you know, she'd wear the colors, and she'd crochet the blankets for the girls, and just be really supportive. She's been to all, I wouldn't say she's been to all of Brooke's games and things like that, but she certainly tried. She was at a lot of them. She was at most of them. And it was kind of funny because if Brooke got a foul, which was fairly regularly, when you're the biggest kid on the field, it doesn't really matter if the other kid ran into you and fell down. It's still your fault, right? Anyway, she'd get yellow cards or whatever, and my mom would be like, that's not right. And sometimes it was her fault. She did deserve that foul. It'd be like, well, no, that one, she kind of shoved the kid down or whatever, but never was it Brooke's fault. So it's so funny. Anyways, here's where I'm getting into these puffies, and I'm trying to pull it off like inside the bag, which was kind of goofy. I'm like, what am I doing? I'm messing with this. And I'm like, Christine, just pull it out of the bag. It's because there's little pieces in the middle of the little loopy letters, and it's just hard to get them off when they're inside the bag. I don't know what I was thinking. I finally go, what am I doing? Just pull it out. I was being silly, right? So I pull it off. I love the texture of these things. I'm not going to lie. This is so cool that you do end up using Nuvo glue or some kind of wet glue. They're sticky, but they're not just, lifelong sticky. So, but again, I've said this before. I think that's by design, so you can kind of move them around and curl them and do different things. And so I enjoy these. I actually have 2 pieces of one of the sheets of these because of when I got my Scrap Room Flavors of the Month with this collection, one sheet of it came with that. So I don't know if you can see it here. I think I put them both back together. I don't know for sure, but I actually have 2 sets of it. And then I noticed all these she had some little, I don't know what she had on there, like little dots of things. They might have been enamel dots or something. And I thought, you know what, there's all these little black puffy things. So I'm going to go around and stick little black puffy dots around the collection. And that might be when I noticed the other butterfly that I missed. And then I'm going to end up I didn't have any more vellum ones, I don't believe. So I'm going to end up pulling out a chipboard butterfly. Because I noticed also there was like a little round piece. I missed some stuff at the top. I'm just telling you. I was looking, I go, oh shoot, I missed above the left-hand butterfly, there was like a little element of stuff. And I had missed all that. So I have to add that stuff in there. And it's just a few little phrases and like that little circle. And I'll add a few little things just to give that little collection or that little clustering up there. Like I said, I was looking at this. It's actually, this pen here, the layout was, it was like deceptively simple. And I thought, oh, okay, it's just a bunch of strips of paper and clustering. And then the more I looked at it, I go, shoot, there's a little cluster there. There's a little thing here. So I love layouts that are like that, though, that are just deceptively simple. There's more going on than you notice until you start like really kind of looking at them. So I just love layouts like that. The more you look, the more you see. So I think here, okay, I'm going to go back to my few little bits here. I'm going to add a few little puffy phrases and in a couple of spots here just to add some good stuff here. So I'm sorry, you guys. I just don't feel well, so my apologies that I rambled a lot. There's the slowdown. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please make sure you check out the playlist, or actually it's a hop. So there'll be a list of folks below playing along. This is hosted, by the way, by Crystal Barrett over at the Pineapple Papers. And she's adorable, by the way. She's so sweet. I just love her layouts too. So make sure you check out her channel if you haven't. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. And we'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye.